Hey everybody, my name is Brandon Scott and welcome to the Fandom Pastor, which can be found on our YouTube channel, Facebook page, or podcast. The Fandom Pastor is for all of us who love our fandoms and our faith. Fandoms are anything that somebody has a deep love for. Harry Potter, Broadway musicals, cult films, to name just a few. Join the Fandom Pastor as we see how God is connected to it all. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey all, this is Pastor Brandon with our next episode of the Fandom Pastor. We start a new series this week on toys of the 80s. Now, the clue is that this toy has speed competitions, and the world record for solving this toy is 3.13 seconds. Now, as many of you have probably guessed, we are talking about the Rubik's Cube. Uh, I was never good at the Rubik's Cube. I could never quite get the sides. I could occasionally get one or, well, basically one. Although I did figure out the way to take the Rubik's Cube apart and make them correct. Of course, that's not the way you're supposed to do it, is it? And what's interesting about the Rubik's Cube is sometimes you have to kind of ruin the perfect part to get the perfect hole. When you're working on the cube, it's kind of easy to get preoccupied with just getting one side, and you finally get all the blues together. But what then? How do you really proceed? How do you move further without messing it up? Well, you can't. It's impossible. And so you have to be ready to make small sacrifices along the way in order to reach your final goal. But once you do, everything else falls back into place as well. Uh, so you have to make sure you never lose sight of the bigger picture. God sometimes comes into our lives and says, well, you may have the perfect life, or you may have everything kind of the way you want, but that's not what I want for you. I actually want something even better for you. I want an opportunity for you to go on to bigger things. And we get lost in the fact of money and property and all those different things. And God says, I want you to ignore those. I want you to move away from those. Ecclesiastes 3:3. I'm sure many of you would recognize this. A time to kill and a time to heal. There's a time to break down and a time to build up. Sometimes we have to break down things before we can build them back up to be the way they're supposed to be, the best way that they can be. I know that when I had been doing youth ministry for a number of years and was working at a bank. I was making pretty good money, and God called on me and had me change from being in the banking industry to being in full time ministry. I had to break things down, but yet my life is so much better now than it was before. So, I know not all of you experience all that the same way, but it is something to consider. So, here is my clue for next time. We continue our series on toys of the 80s. The clue for next time is that when first introduced, these four game characters actually had names. Lizzie was the purple one, the orange one was Henry, Home was green, and Harry was yellow. Now, later versions of this game change the color, the names, or both. So, hope to see you next time. Thanks, God bless, and have a great day.